So now.
Okay. So I'm looking at the successful transforming economies Africa's from import reliance to self-reliance. And my outline will be looking at agriculture in Africa, food security issues in Africa, prospects of Africa's agriculture, food importation in Africa, the consequences of high food importation in Africa, agriculture as key to transforming economics in Africa, the future of agribusiness in Africa. The reason why I've tailored this outline is in it itself has all the major components when it comes to investment in Africa. And at the end of the day, you get to understand the generality of what it entails and the sectors to be looking at when it comes to investment in Africa. So despite the Ghana being the world's largest, second largest producer, or Africa being the second largest producer of cocoa, we do not have what it takes to be competitive on the international market. If you look at the countries that even do less than 6 tons, they have about 70% of the market share. So when you take a look, Africa alone controls the world's largest commodity, which is cocoa. But meanwhile, the returns on investment is very low. And if we are really looking at a crop or a commodity to live from, we're talking about cocoa. Recently, there have been a lot of media buzz about China exporting cocoa to Belgium, and how Australia is coming in strongly, and how Malaysia is also pushing. What are we doing in Africa? This is a point where we need to start to strategize. Africa produces 75% of cocoa, but receives only 2%. That is 100 billion out of the several billions of returns that the industry or in Africa should be making. So let's move to food security in Africa. Africa has about 236 million, representing 23.2% of the world's population, according to the World Food Programme 2018. Currently, there are more than 103 million people across 53 countries. That tells you that the food industry alone is money. The population drives demand, and the demand must come to meet the more mouths to be fed. So looking at these statistics, you can easily juxtapose where we should be looking at, which is food, and for that reason we're doing this. Now, out of the 53 countries, food insecure countries worldwide, 33 countries currently are in Africa. So if you are out there and you are looking at an area to invest, out of 53 insecure countries for food in the world, 33 of them, representing 70%, are in Africa. And you can mention Dr. Congo, Ethiopia, Sudan, South Sudan, northern part of Nigeria, and it's surprising that you have northern part of Nigeria as part of this. So the statistics are here to show for itself. Actually, I did 2 presentations for this, so I'll be very fast and show to you to a large extent. Africa's food and beverage market are projected to reach 1 trillion by 2030. That is a huge investment, from fruit juice to alcoholic beverage and cocoa drinks and what have you. $1 trillion by 2030, taking advantage of the Africa Free Trade Continental Area. Africa has more than half of the world's fertile land. Africa uses only 2% of its renewable water resources compared to the global average of 5%. So it also points to availability of arable land and good use of water for agriculture productivity. Improving Africa's agriculture and agribusiness sector means higher income and more jobs. According to the World Food Program, any $1 million invested into agriculture can generate 75,000 jobs. So if you compare what we are making in Africa to the likes of Brazil, Indonesia, Thailand, where we import several of our rice from, and maize and soya, these are food security crops that otherwise needs to be used and produced here in Africa, but we import all of them, despite the availability of all the conducive environment. Africa's annual food import bill is 35 billion. It's estimated to rise to 110 billion by 2025. We are just 4 years away from this, and any investor out there should be looking at these figures carefully, because this is the area we're talking about and the reason why we have the Africa Free Trade Continental Area. And the 110 billion by 2025, this weakens Africa's economy. This makes agriculture export and job creation on the continent. Imagine what $35 billion would do in Africa if we stop importing and we produce and we feed our own people, we feed the industry with good, organic, quality food. The president of the African Development Bank, he recently asked, why is Africa importing 35 billion worth of food annually? Now, the consequences of high food importation. High importation weakens economies. High importation causes unemployment. High importation discourages local manufacturing and processing. High importation reduces income of our continent. So agriculture as key to transforming economies in Africa, and this is the areas you need to be looking at for investment. One of the central goals of every developing country is to reach the high income status. Agriculture plays a critical role in transforming economies to reach the goal with achieving essential development goals. Now, let's look at it, the future of agribusiness. Agribusiness are being challenged to meet the globally increasing demand for food, fuel, and fiber, while balancing economic and environmental realities. New technologies are critical. We'll be talking about blockchain. We'll be talking about drones and sensors. We'll be talking about Internet of Things. These are critical to developing the industry. Talking about manufacturing, processing. Moving forward, agribusiness leaders must find a new answers to challenges such as how to attain or improve access to market. We're talking about how Alibaba have developed the China e-commerce platform. What is it that we have in Africa that can change the Africa's e-commerce platform to be able to move some form of produce from Ghana to South Africa, South Africa to Nigeria, Nigeria to Tanzania, Kenya, Ethiopia, Ivory Coast? We need to find an innovative digital web system to be able to attract the kind of population that we have on the African continent. How do we secure reliable commodity supply? We have to produce, and by producing, we need to invest. And that is the only way we can achieve any sustainable food productivity. How do we adjust the mega trend and manage uncertainty? What are the mega trends? 35 billion annually on importation of food alone in Africa. And by 4 years' time, it's expected to rise to $110 billion. Are we ready to invest in Africa? If these figures do not scare you, then I don't know what else is going to scare you. How to build organization and operational capacity to support new strategies. We do not have what I refer to as hands-on technical agriculture sector training facilities that are providing top-notch engineering work, fabrication of simple agriculture tools, and many others. We keep importing all this from China and Europe and America. This cannot help us moving forward. If you are talking about building organization, building capacities, building processing, and building top-notch high-tech manufacturing sectors, we need something like this. This is critical. Japan have done it using the Toyota system, and we need to find a way. The Kaizen system has been good. What system is in for us in Africa to adopt? How do we even diversify or specialize along the commodities and activities? These are the areas we need to be looking at. So shifting from import to dependence on self-reliance and self-sufficiency. This is where we need to be looking at, because when COVID came, the European Union banned exports. Okay, how do we become self-sufficient as a continent? We need to strategize investment that is required. Africa's agriculture has suffered from lack of infrastructure, skills, and technology. Actually, I also chair the Ghana Agriculture Sector Skills Council, and there is huge need to look at how we can diversify Africa's skills acquisition, how we can make sure that we give the right skills for our workers. Labor, even though it's expensive, but the labor does not have the requisite skills to support your investment. So if you want to look at how we can diversify the economy, for me, I think skills is very critical. When you invest, you need the right skills to hold and to be able to monetize your investment. If that is not done, most of the investments will go down the drain. According to the African Development Bank, the Sub-Saharan Africa will need 8 times more fertilizers, 6 times more seeds, and at least 8 billion of investment in basic storage, and as much as 65 billion in irrigation to fulfill its agriculture promise of transformation. And my main attention here is seeds and also irrigation. We need water. We need water to be able to produce throughout the year. Okay, climate change is catching up with us. Sudan is having enormous challenges. So we need to transform the industry. And if we are talking about producing enough food, where we have a lot of agriculture, arable land, we need to invest into agriculture. Food systems, and food systems are now critical. We started talking about food systems some years ago. FAO has now taken the food system strategy and working on it. Now let's look at the policy environment, what we need to be able to make sure that our investments are secured and we are able to make substantial profit on investment. New policies that enhances the agriculture mechanization in Africa. So while saying this, you can contextualize it in Ghana, because the differences are the same. I mean, there are no differences. The issues are the same. Okay, we do have challenges with mechanization in Ghana, and we need to also look at productivity and rural employment to attract and ensure that the continent's future and growth and poverty alleviation are sustained. Effective national policies for trade, agriculture, and investment. These are critical. The investor needs to understand what policies are in there for him. African farmers and businesses must be empowered through good policies, increased public and private investment, and strong public-private partnerships. PPP is missing. And one of the areas we need to look at when we're talking about PPP is the local content. What is the local content? To be able to uphold and make sure that when technology are transferred, the technology doesn't vanish with time. And there are people that have been trained, that have been given the necessary capacities to be able to make sure that these technologies, when imported into the country, for instance, we're talking about irrigation. Do we have the requisite high-tech skills for irrigation? When we buy technology and we start to deploy technology, drone sensors, we're talking about no-till agriculture farming, and many others innovative technologies that are increasing productivity. These are the areas we need to be looking at. Policies must be enacted to tackle and the triggers of food insecurity, such as climate change, conflict, economic shock, urbanization, and high population growth. Well, we all know what we are looking at, and those are the areas where we need to look at some innovative mechanisms to develop the rural agriculture sector. The new normal. Africa can feed itself, and Africa must feed itself. And when it does, it will be able to feed the world. Thank you very much.